Hello, and welcome to my little home theater. I thought it was about time that I did one of these videos, a home theater tour. And as you can probably see, it's very small and basic, but also has a lot going on for it. So I thought I would kind of take you through it and show you what I've done. Maybe you can glean some information from this. And let me just say up front, it is not an ideal setup. It's certainly not ideal, not my idea of ideal, but it's a very cost-effective, do-it-yourself way to put together a nice little home theater. And you see, we have our sofas here, and these were actually my parents' sofas, and they got them about 12 or 13 years ago. So they're pretty okay, but I'd still love to upgrade one day. Have a nice recliner, sectional, something like that. But yeah, and as you might be able to tell, we are currently living in a rented trailer. That's the back wall. That's the ceiling. And that's the front door. So it is a very, very small living space. But, it's just temporary until we can buy our house. And this is what we've come up with for our home theater in the meantime. So let me give you a quick tour. This is my Sony Bravia. I got it in, it's pretty much a 2010 model. I got it like January 3rd, 2011. And there's my entertainment center. That's got the Xbox. And I have a lot of stories about these things that I'd like to cover in future videos. This is just a preliminary tour off what we have going on. And of course the PlayStation. Yamaha receiver, which is pretty old, and Laserdisc. And before you tell me that Sony sucks, I know, it's the one that Laserdisc enthusiasts don't like, but it is also a cheap one to get. So I just wanted to get my hands on some Laserdisc for now, and it's a good little player. I like it. It still does all right, and I'm currently getting into Laserdisc just as a hobby, as a fun thing to play with. And here is the projector setup. It's a 100-inch screen, and my all do-it-yourself built speakers, except for the Yamaha subwoofer. And I built the bench that the speakers sit on. My wife and I built the screen. We used real projector fabric from Carl's Place. I think that's what it's called, where you get projector fabrics and stuff like that. But the frame we built ourselves. So I'd say total cost for that screen is about $50, and 40 of that is the projector fabric, because I wanted to do that right. And if you'll look over here, sorry about autofocus, I have some posters up for my favorite movies. John Wick, Back to the Future 2. And my wife made that for me. It's a Pixel DeLorean. And we have a few other cool things like Star Wars and Voyager and Fist of the North Star over here. And you can see over here, that is my almost finished rear speaker, also hand-built. And trust me, I am not a carpenter, and I'm not good with woodworking, but I'm trying to learn. So that was my first attempt at a square. But they sound all right, and that's what's important. And eventually I'm going to paint them black, like I did for those speakers there. And over here we have a Audio-Technica turntable. Pretty nice sounding for a basic model. And this I'll talk about in depth at a later video, but it's an almost 100-year-old Victrola. It's been in my family for that long. And here's my movie collection and game collection right here, and music. Here's the laser discs and the records, VHSs, some anime DVDs, games down on the bottom shelf, DVDs, games, Blu-rays. So I pretty much got them all covered there. There's Godzilla and Captain America. And then over here is the projector. As you can tell, I did a do-it-yourself mount on that too. Saved a lot of money. And it's also because I couldn't really put a mount on this ceiling because it's so thin. And the projector is very old, and it was a cheap eBay find. Something to get me started before I sink real money into it. But you know, it's been a big learning process. It's been a lot of trial and error and learning along the way. A little coffee table for things, and here's my Logitech Harmony 650. It is fantastic for controlling everything. You know, I love it because I've been able to put a ton of controllers in the cabinet where they belong. Only needed if you have to do, well, pretty much I haven't had to use them since. I should probably just take the batteries out of them, because it'll be a while before they're needed. But yeah, and that's in case you're wondering, that's a 46-inch. It's a 46-inch TV. It's been great until the projector came along, and then the projector just blows everything out of the water. It's amazing. But I still like having the TV here as a secondary monitor, so that, you know, we could either use it during the day for Twitch streams, YouTube, things that you don't really need to put on the projector. Save bulb life that way. And also another thing that we like to do, usually at night, is we can have a Twitch stream on the TV and be playing a game on the projector. So it's pretty much just like a fancy version of what you might have if you have a 2-monitor setup on your computer. You might play games on one and watch on the other. So yeah, that's pretty much covers the preliminary. And if you're interested to hear about the details on this theater and the details of how to do a super budget, do-it-yourself, eBay sort of home theater, and, you know, much as I would love a big fancy home theater, you know, house comes first, you know, important things first. And then this stuff can come, the upgrades can come later. But for the money I've put into it, I'm very happy with it. I think my only advice to newcomers is you probably shouldn't do it yourself speakers like I did. Because more than electronics experience, you need carpentry experience, and that's something I was coming to the table without. So if I had to do it over again, I would probably spend a little more and buy real speakers like from JBL or something, rather than, you know, the trial and errors and problems I had with building these. But still a fun experience. Still a learning experience. Things that I haven't really done a lot of lately. But yeah, so if you want to, subscribe to the channel, check out filmnerdcorey.com, and I will start making some videos that goes in depth into the setup, specifics of the equipment, stories behind the equipment, how much I paid. I'm going to get into all that stuff, but I just wanted to leave those for other videos so that I can give each piece a little time. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it amazed you, because it's certainly a very small do-it-yourself theater setup, isn't it? But thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in next time.